Well, good evening, everyone. So, sorry for the late start, just a little bit. We got a new update right as I was about to go live. We had Hurricane Nicole. It was a tropical storm. They literally just updated it as of 6 o'clock, so now it has 75-mile-per-hour winds, gusts of 85 miles per hour, and it is pushing off to the west around 12 miles per hour. So, I'm going to give you a brief update on what Hurricane Nicole, or Tropical Storm Nicole, by the time will bring to us, and then I'm going to go through the forecast update just real quick. I didn't see a use in doing multiple videos, but here's the latest on Nicole. It is now a hurricane, as I was just saying. Hopefully we can get this to work. Here we go. So it is expected to make landfall right along the East Florida coast as a Category 1 hurricane, and then eventually move through the peninsula as a tropical storm, maybe briefly get out into the Gulf of Mexico, and then eventually take a turn to the north where it is going to bring us some rain and maybe even some thunderstorms. So I am monitoring the chat right here, so just be sure to ask any questions if you have any, and I will be sure to get to those right at the end. So right now we do have tropical storm warnings up for portions of the low country, and that's because we are seeing those tropical storm force gusts already move in. This orange circle right in here are those tropical storm force gusts, and you see they're already starting to creep in to the southern portions of the state. So that's why we had those tropical storm warnings in effect down there in the low country. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple more watches or warnings issued, but at this point, it's really not looking too likely. We also have a wind advisory in Georgia. I would not be surprised if a wind advisory or a lake wind advisory is eventually issued in our area. So as we head throughout the night tomorrow, or this should say, today is Wednesday. I'm off a little bit. I've been working on this for a past couple minutes. So as we head throughout the night tonight, it is going to make landfall, and it is going to move through Orlando before eventually crossing the Florida Peninsula by tonight. And then tomorrow afternoon, we are going to see it start to enter the Gulf of Mexico. It's actually not going to re-enter this time. So it is going to enter the Gulf of Mexico about 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon before turning off to the north. And it is going to bring us some rain by that time. I'll take a closer look at the radar in just a second for our area. But you see by Friday morning, there is the center of the storm right over Atlanta. So we are going to see some rain whether you are here in South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, picking up on some of that rainfall. It is going to continue to push off to the north, and it's not going to stay long. It is just going to be a Thursday and Friday event. So Friday is going to be our day. Thursday, you might want to plan for indoor activities if you have anything during the afternoon or evening hours. So let's take a closer look at what it's going to bring to our area. So by 3 o'clock tomorrow morning, most of the showers are staying offshore, but they are going to start to creep in by the morning hours, and then eventually by the afternoon hours. You see it's starting to become more widespread at this point. So I believe this is doing a very good job, okay job at what's going to happen. But you see, as we head towards 3, 6, 9, there comes those bands of rain and even some thunderstorms embedded. We can't rule out the threat of maybe seeing a tornado or two just because we are on that east side of the storm. So that's going to continue throughout Friday morning. We're keeping that isolated tornado threat with the rain bands continuing to move through. Then by Friday morning and afternoon, you see the bulk of the moisture is going to start to move in as the center passes just to our west. It is going to continue to pass through Georgia and then maybe even into the upstate of South Carolina before pushing off to the north by that afternoon and evening hours on Friday. And you see by 6 o'clock, the final band is starting to push through. So if you are planning to head out for high school football, you should be pretty okay because the rain should be coming to an end by that point in time. So the tornado threat, this is the severe weather threat, but really we're only looking at a tornado threat. That's why this is issued. So in the green right here, that's a level 1 out of 5 risk. In the yellow, that's a level 2 out of 5 risk. And there is a low tornado threat regardless of which area you are in, but the higher tornado threat is going to come in these yellow areas. So mainly for the low country and PD and portions of the eastern Midlands for tomorrow. By Friday, we move that to the central and western Midlands, but keep the low country in the PD. And it's just because we are passing through that east side of the storm. And of course, any tropical systems, the east side of the storm is always your greatest tornado threat. So impacts, we could see about anywhere between 1 to 4 inches of rain. It's really just going to be an on and off rainfall throughout the day on Thursday and throughout the day on Friday. So I would not be surprised if some areas got less rain than others, but some areas could see up to 4 inches of rain. So that's why we're going 1 to 4 inches. And then just because it's a tropical system, it will be a tropical depression, it seems, at the point as it moves through us. So we could see some depression or even some tropical storm force gusts from time to time, but really 25 to 35 miles per hour seems pretty reasonable for what we will see. And of course, the low country is already picking up on some tropical storm force gusts just because that wind field is so wide. So we are going as high as 35 to 45 down there. So your key takeaways, I don't know why the animation played like that, but the main impacts is going to be tomorrow through Friday. We are going to see some breezy conditions from time to time just because, you know, it's a tropical system moving through, so there's going to be some breezy conditions. Naturally, heavy rain is going to fall at times. Isolated tornado threat is going to be very low, but there is that chance that we could see a spin up just because we're on the east side of the storm. Expect beach erosions and some coastal flooding. We're already seeing that as the wind starts to push ashore, so that onshore flow is already causing some issues with coastal flooding, but it's really nothing too terrible. We've seen worse in the past, definitely. But like I said, Friday night lights, we are going to start to calm down around the 30 to 40% chance of rain by 7. Then it's only down to 20 by 9 and 10 o'clock. We are going to see those temperatures gradually start to fall too, but they are going to stay pretty warm for this time of the year. 68 to 72 by 7, and then 62 to 67 by 10 o'clock. Now, we also have a few college football games. The rain is going to be all gone by Saturday afternoon at Death Valley. 64 degrees for your tailgating, 65 as we head towards kickoff, and then we're dropping down into the 50s towards the end of the game after that cold front is going to push through. Clemson is taking on Louisville up there at Memorial Stadium. We also have Coastal Carolina out at Brooks Stadium, and it's going to be a little bit warmer because that cold front is going to push through a little bit later. So 74 degrees for your tailgating forecast, down to 65 by kickoff around 7:30. Then 61 degrees towards the end of that game. So your 10-day forecast, we are going to have those rain and storms pushing through as we head throughout the night tonight. Really not the night tonight, but as we head throughout the afternoon tomorrow, I should say. And then that's going to continue throughout tomorrow night and into Friday. So around an 80% chance of rain for the upstate and Midlands for tomorrow, and then the bulk of the rain is going to start to push through overnight Thursday and into Friday. That's what I want you to take from this. As we head towards your Saturday, it's going to start to dry off as a cold front will push through. You could see a lingering morning shower, but we are going to start to dry off and cool off towards the end of the weekend. We're dropping down into the 50s by Sunday, and that's going to continue throughout next week. Another system is trying to sneak in towards the middle of next week, but you know, we'll have to keep a close eye on it. So only a 20 to 30% chance of showers at this point, but it is going to be a more seasonable but really below average week because it is fall. Those temperatures are cooling down, but the temperatures are a little bit lower than what is average for this point in time. So I haven't seen any questions really, so I will answer any questions you have in the comments. So keep it here at Will's Weather for all your latest information, and ask any questions that you have. I'll go through the forecast one last time.